Welcome back for day two, and we're talking about getting started, how to get started on YouTube. Okay. And if you didn't see yesterday's video, this is a new series. We're going to have videos out every single day. I'm sure we'll miss some, but we're shooting for every single day to have a video up teaching you about YouTube. If anything changes, I might do an updated video maybe later on in the day. Sometimes things change on YouTube. You know, It's a fast-paced world if you're getting into YouTube. You'll learn you need to stay on top of things. I'm going to be there for you. But today we're going to talk about how to get started. Now, the first thing you want to do when you're getting started on YouTube is pick what your channel is going to be about. They call it a genre. Genre is basically a category. What's it like? I mean, you got genres of movies. You got action movies, you got dramatic movies, you got romance, rom-com, horror movies. Everything's got a genre, okay? YouTube is no different. Now, you could look at the big picture and just, okay, this is an educational one. This is a travel one. This is a gaming channel. Those are the big ones. But then you have other things, little offshoots like what I kind of specialize with my channels, which is faceless channels, which you hear a voice. I'm doing basically what I'm doing on my channel is I'm giving a listicle, is what they call it. That's World According to Briggs, and for the most part on this day. It's me basically reading an essay to you in a list form, that I've researched and done whatever. Now, those are interesting because you can do listicles about anything. Let's say you want to do listicles about best, candy bars. You could do about that. Then the next video could be the best donut places. You could be about sweets, whatever. You got to figure out which one you're interested in and what one you want to do. Now, I have friends like Mr. Beat, not Mr. Beast, Mr. Beat. He was a history teacher, and his actual last name is Beat, Matt Beat. So he's a history teacher, and he quit school and quit teaching school and became a full-time YouTuber, which he basically explains the history of the United States and politics and all that stuff on his channel. Very interesting. You have travel channels. Like yesterday, I was talking about cruise channels, and you got other people that just go all over the world and they just find really neat things to do in other countries. Usually these are done by young, attractive people. They'll go to Bali and spend a week there and talk to people. Uh, they'll go to the Jamaica, and then next week they'll be in Korea. And those are really interesting because these people are traveling the world and YouTube's paying for it. They're making a bunch of money on YouTube, which means they can afford to do all the traveling they want. Now, there's another genre that's out there that I really enjoy, which is called the van life. My friend Alyssa Vanilla and another one I watched years ago, but she's still doing it, Hobo Alley. These two girls decided they were going to live on the road. So they got little minivans. They tricked them all out with a bed and stuff like that. They drive all over the United States, living in their van, exploring things, just chatting it up with people. And they make a living at it so they can continue to do this lifestyle. So there's a million and one different genres and subgenres you could pick from, but you got to be interested in it. And it's got to be something that you're comfortable speaking about, something you know about, whatever. Maybe you want to talk about chess. Great. If you want to talk about all the things about chess, that is a great idea. You will find some viewers, but it's not perfect. And I'll explain why. If you're going to start a YouTube channel, the first three things you have to decide on. Do you want to do it as a hobby and not worry about money? Do you want to make some money? Do you want to make a bunch of money? Those are the three things: hobby, money, bunch of money. Now, your genre is going to dictate how much money you get. Now, let's say you do want to make a channel all about chess, just want to do chess things, chess related things, outcomes of tournaments, whatever, moves that you've learned, and just anything, the history of chess. That's really interesting, and you'll get some people, but you won't make a bunch of money. Reason is, it's not marketable. YouTube is a private company that is a for-profit company. They want to make money. They have advertisers that go on your videos. Now, if there's not a big thing of people pounding on the door trying to advertise on chess channels, you're not going to get many ads, and the ads you do get aren't going to be that good. Now, I talk about real estate and I talk about retirement a lot on World According to Briggs. Those are two subjects that have a high CPM. CPM means click per mil. It means click per thousand. How much do you make for every thousand clicks or views of your video, right? So, give you an example. If you're talking about real estate or uh, retirement, it's going to be over $15 is your CPM. So, for every thousand clicks, you make about $15 or more. It can be, depending on how you set it up. It can be more than that. Now, if you're doing it about chess, every thousand views, just my opinion, I've never run a chess channel, but I would think you'd be lucky if you made $1.50 per thousand views. Okay. Now, you might be putting in more effort than some guy that's talking about retirement or real estate, and your videos might be longer, but he's going to make more money because there's more advertisers for the real estate and the retirement industries. So that's something you got to think about. But if you don't care about that and you just want to do this as a hobby, do anything you want. Talk about how you like to crush flowers and press flowers and books, Great. Maybe you want to do arts and crafts. Actually, that one can be profitable. I'll tell you about that later on. But just if it's a hobby, you like to collect yarn, you like to collect cat toys, and you like to talk about, you know, anything like that, do it. Have a great time. YouTube is a lot of fun. But if you want to make some income at it, you got to think a little more strategically. Myself, I am a serious movie buff, right? Now that can be profitable, but above being a movie buff, I'm also hardcore into the history of World War II, the Korean War. Something about that whole time. Maybe it was the movies that were coming out when I was a kid that I watched. That has always interested me. I read books about it all the time. I could do a whole channel on that. Probably won't do that good uh, financially. I mean, it'd be okay, but it's not going to do as good as something where you're talking about retirement or you're talking about, personal finance. Personal finance is one of the most expensive CPMs, clicks per mil, that are out there. I've heard and I've seen a couple. I've seen a couple where their CPM is, on average above $60 per thousand views. So $60 per thousand views. And let's say they get a video that does 100,000 views in 1 month. You know, that's a lot of freaking money for one video. Now, you might get a million views on your chess channel and you'd be lucky if you made 300 bucks. Maybe 1,000 if something like you had a huge channel. So, that's that's something you have to consider. What do you want to do? Do you want to have a hobby? Do you want to make money? And now the bunch of money. A bunch of money comes with when you're giving financial advice. That is the best one. There's other ones that I'm probably not too up on, but I know the finance industry, the finance genre is one of the best ones you can get into. Now, the rough thing is you got to know a lot about it or you're going to get called out. If you're just trying to mimic something you read in some article, you better know the background on it because people are going to ask you questions in the comment section. So that can make you a lot of money, but you better know what you're talking about. Health and, healthcare, that's another big one. Insurance is another big one, but you better know what you're talking about, especially when it comes to the medical stuff. I would suggest leaving that to doctors, or if you're like a dietitian or something like that, maybe talk about the food, but try not to give any sort of medical advice whatsoever. You can make a lot of money at it, but it's dangerous and tricky. So, you got to make your own decisions on what you want to talk about on your channel. By the way, if you see these little jump cuts, I'm cutting out when I drink tea or water because talking a lot makes your mouth go dry. And I don't need you sitting there watching me drink water. I forgot to one time on one of my podcasts. And I was all, the tea thing is distracting. I talk fast and my mouth gets dry. So these little clips for that. Things you learn on YouTube, how to do a jump cut. So once you've decided if you're here for a hobby, you're here for money, now we got to boil it down to what's your subject. Now, once your subject is there, you now go to YouTube and see who else is talking about that, much like the cruise thing. I thought it would be interesting. I'd watched a couple cruise videos, but then I became a student of cruise videos to see what other people are doing. Now, I'm not going to rip someone off. There's plenty of people that do that on YouTube. And in a lot of cases, they get in trouble for it. It's idea theft is a serious thing on YouTube. I don't mind you talking about the same stuff I talk about, but don't take my list, add new words to it, and call it your own. It's not right. I mean, it's just weird. They just change my script around. Now, there's a lot of that going on. But now that you figure out your subject, go to YouTube, start typing in what your subject is. Let's say it is the chess channel. Uh, Chess. Just type chess into YouTube. See what other channels are doing to talk about chess, right? How did they do it? What's the most popular ones? Which are the ones that are getting the most views? See what they're doing and think to yourself, how can I make that better? How can I make it more interesting? Right? My channel, World According to Briggs, I used to be a stand up comedian. So there was a lot of humor in my videos, and it's sort of done by design. One, it separates me from a lot of the channels that are out there talking about the same stuff that are just giving you the facts. Now, you could look at my channel and go, this guy doesn't take things seriously. I'm giving you straight facts. I just tell jokes. Now, if you want to go to one of those other channels and just, talk about, just the facts, like it's Dragnet, remember him? Just the facts, ma'am. Then those are out there for you. I do it different on my channel. How are you going to do your channel different? How is your chess channel going to be better? Are you going to talk about computer chess games? Are you going to do tech? Because there's a lot of different ways you can play chess. The standard board, there's electrical ones, the online ones. You can you can get online right now and play people in chess. I do it all the time. It's not something I know about or I'm interested enough to make a whole channel on, but how are you going to change whatever genre you choose? How are you going to make it different from the people that are up there? Because if you just copy people, you're just going to be background noise. You might get some views, but you'll never get rapid growth, and your channel will be over within 2 years because people realize you're just copying other people. Okay. So, what do you want to do? Do your research. Find out if it's a legit thing. Maybe you like, collecting Dungeons and Dragons figures. I played Dungeons and Dragons when I was a kid. I was just moving stuff in my garage. I realized I have all these fine painted little miniatures from it, right? These things were, got these in the 1980s. They're still with me. But maybe you want to talk about that. There are channels that play Dungeons and Dragons online right now. They just, the camera's right here while they're playing a normal game of Dungeons and Dragons. You just get to sit in on it with them. And their videos last 2-3 hours at a time, and you can make some money on that. So, what are you going to bring different to your chess channel, to your Dungeons and Dragons channel, to your cookie channel? What's it going to be different? That's what you need to decide. And then we'll go on to the next phase. All right. See you in the next video, guys. I'm going to film it right now after this. Probably see me in the same shirt. Have a good day. Be nice to each other.